Okay, I'm going to show you all how to link Microsoft Access database to MySQL, um, accessing MySQL server using the ODBC and Microsoft Access. Before in class, we know we did a small demonstration in terms of how we link Microsoft Access projects within Access, and you'll still have to install the SQL server for me configured, which I'll have the interactive tutorial for you all prepared so y'all could use it and get on with these exercises. But for now, I'm going to go to task 2 and I'm going to install a WAM server using MySQL and integrate it with ODBC using Microsoft Access. Before we do anything, you're going to go to Google and you're going to Google WAM server, and you're going to choose each one of the options to download. I had to download the WAM server 32-bit or WAM server 64-bit as required for your operating system. But nonetheless, when you click the option, you're going to download it and it'll bring it down to your PC into a file. However, I already has the file here that is already downloaded. It's 19.6 megabytes, and I'm going to double click on the file and I'm going to install it, and you're going to choose all your default settings while you install the particular WAM server. Nonetheless, I already have WAM server already installed on my PC. So what I'm going to do is going to right click on it just to show you all some options here in the WAM. And you'll see that language by default is English we're going to be using. What I'm going to do is to right click now, or I should say click, and I'm going to actually put my WAM server online. So I'm going to have it online and so on. And then I will go here and I'm going to select by default php my admin. And when I select this file, my page localhost should comes up showing you some sample databases that is already installed on my php mysql admin page. If I wish, I could create a new database if I wanted. I could call this database client server if I wish, and I could select create database, and it will give me this option here when it show me my database, and then from there I can add my tables. Nonetheless, for the sake of this tutorial, I would prefer to use one of these sample databases that is already inside here. So I'm going to click on the test database and I'm going to see what is happening here. Right, I noticed on the test database it don't have any tables installed, so I'm going to create like two tables. I'm going to create this table as student, and I'm going to call it student information table. So let's select the student information, and I probably would want to have like about, let me see, about like 5 fields or something like that on this particular table here. So I'm going to click go, and what I'm going to do here is probably just type some basic fields, like student ID. I'm not going to put any spaces on a rows underscore ID. I'm going to select a data type as text. I'm going to choose it. I'm going to choose a length as 4 or 5 for my student ID. Some of your IDs is like 8 because you'll have 000. So I'm going to just take an option like 10. I'm going to put student F name, or I could just put stdu F name. I could do that if I wish, or type out the entire thing. I'm going to assign text to this too as well. This is a quick thing. Student last name, I could put this as well, LMAME, like I'm having problems spelling. And I'm going to select text too as well. I could probably initialize this as an int, if I wish, but I'm going to leave it as text for now. Student age, I'm going to leave it as integer for default, and I'm going to put student, just going to put address, and just stop putting students in my database, like whatever. Right, and I'm going to select this option here as well, a string. So I'm going to just select text if I wish, whatever. You could choose whatever you want. So student name, I could have some long names if I want. I know some people names as long as the alphabet, but you could choose whatever you want. So I'm just going to select everything by default. Your age could only be like two digits, unless if you go up to 100 years, so there's 3 lengths and value. And the address we could take it up to 255, to a length like that. I think what I'm going to do here is to leave it as it is. I'm going to see what this option here is default. I'm going to leave that as it is as well, and I'm going to click save, and there it is that I have my table that is installed. What next do I do? I go to Microsoft Access, and then I'm going to probably click on the open, and I'm going to go to a new database. I'm going to click new, and I select this up with this database called let me see, call it right, client server, or let's put CS for short, client server. I'm going to click create, and what happens is that I'll have a table already installed here, so I'm just probably just delete this table because I won't have no use for it. Oh, well, sorry, I'll have to close it off first and then delete the table all entirely. And I'm going to go to the object called external data. And what I'm looking for is the option for ODBC. And I'm going to select ODBC as a driver, and I'm going to select the option to link to table, and I'm going to click OK. And what happens is that this data source is going to come up where I'm going to go to new, and I'm going to select uh, well, I'll take default by data source apply to machine only, which I really wanted the system, so I probably would have to open Microsoft Access in administrative mode. Nonetheless, as I look down to all these SQL, all these data source drivers, I'm not seeing my SQL database installed here. So what then do I do? I'm going to click cancel, and I am going to cancel this again. And I think I'm going to go to my web browser, which I'm going to search for my MySQL database ODBC connector, which I'm seeing it here, and I'm going to download it. Again, if you don't know how to download a file, I suggest you drop this IT course and probably study psychology or some other course, whatever, but certainly not IT. So I already have this file here, so what I'm going to do is select it, and I'm going to run it to install it because I want to get my ODBC driver installed. That is what I want to do, and I'm going to go to a custom option because I want everything, and I see this selected by default, and I'm going to install it. Now, meanwhile, while this is installing in the background, what I'm going to do is to see if I could open Microsoft Access in administrative mode. So I'm going to go to Microsoft Office, where it is on my machine, and I'm going to select Microsoft Access, and I'm going to run. Well, I'm not seeing the option here as run as administrator, so let me probably just open the file because I'm not seeing the option to run as administrator. And I'm going to go to file, and I'm going to just select. I'm just going to wait until this install first. I'm seeing it blinking here. I'm going to click continue. Right, let me just minimize Microsoft Access for a while to see what is taking place in the background here, and I'm going to click finish, and my data source drivers has been installed. Again, I'm going to go to file, and I'm going to go to open. Select the option open instead. And what about using this option here, this little drop down option, and probably I could select ODBC instead here. Right, and voila, this same window comes up. I'm going to see if I get the option to to get the system resource, but I'm not getting the system resource here. So what I have to do is to cancel here and see if I could open Microsoft Access actually in administrative mode. Alright, what I'm going to do here is that since Microsoft Access did not run in administrative mode, I actually went into the Microsoft folder within my Windows Explorer and looked for the Microsoft Access application file. And if you're using probably 2010, it's going to give you a better option there, so you don't really have to worry. But we need to really run this in administrative mode. So I'm going to right click on this executable file, and I'm going to run as administrator, and I'm going to get Microsoft Access coming up there in all the functions that I would need in the administrative mode. Again, I'm going to select open, and I'm going to probably take the open option, and I'm going to select the data source drivers, go to ODBC, and here it is that this window comes up, and then I'm going to select the option new. And I'm going to select system data source because I want to actually use the system and not the user, because I want to have access to to the entire machine in terms of all the resources and so on, and I don't want no limitations in what in terms of accessing data and everything. And I'm going to be accessing my MySQL database on my machine, so it's obvious that I would need to have full control and full access to all the files and so on. So I'm going to click next here, and there it is now. As you search through, you're going to realize somewhere here that the ODBC driver, MySQL Server Now driver, is installed on my PC. So I'm going to click next, and I'm going to click finish. I'm going to give this data source any name, so I'm going to call it client server, or I could just probably put MySQL to access. So I could do that, to make it look a lot user friendly. I'm going to leave it as a description. I'm going to leave this TCP socket open. I never assign any user ID or password into the database. I'm going to select to see if I see my listings of database being shown. Right, so I'm seeing the information schema and I'm seeing the test. I'm going to select the option test, and I'm going to click test to see if it's connect. It's connect successfully, and I am going to click OK. And there it is, that my MySQL to access system database is installed. So I'm going to click OK, and you realize that my student information menu now has popped up from my what do you call it, from my SQL database, which is this where it is here, my local host. You will see it. So I'm going to go back to Microsoft Access, where I'm here now. I'm going to select the student information. I'm going to click OK, and you'll see all the field names that coming down that I have actually created before. So I'm going to select OK to make sure that all comes. And when I click on the table, I'm going to see all this taking place. And now you see the world that is happening here. That's which I was telling you all from the last class, that everyone have a different link. And even if I was to enter information within this table here, it would automatically update the MySQL information. This is just a quick topic on how to access MySQL from Microsoft Access using ODBC. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel, and have a nice day.